Inside the Big Game continues. I am Gabe Morency. Countdown to kickoff continues as well. We're having a great time here on Media Row. And one of the cool things about being here, you're always getting thrown curveballs. You never know who you're going to run into, who you're going to talk to. And, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm sitting next to a three-time Super Bowl champion right now, Lonie Paxton in the house.
Let's go, baby.
What's up,
Thanks
Lonnie?
for having me.
Hey, thanks for being with us here, my man. These are some pretty badass helmets. But first things first, before we get to the light helmets, how's New Orleans been treating you this week?
Good, man. I actually hadn't been back here since we won our first one. I mean,
great memories here, right?
Great memories here. A lot of familiar streets and faces. And the Super Bowl week in general just brings out, old friends, new friends, business leaders. So just stoked walking around.
I want to ask you if you run into any of your former teammates or coaches. I saw Coach Belichick at the award show last night. Tom Brady, of course. I guess
he's calling the game.
Not his first Super Bowl, right?
No.
I think he's probably nervous, though. It's strange. Is it strange to see Tom Brady getting called out for something?
It is. And, he's a perfectionist, so he wants to improve every week. He wants to get better. Announcing isn't it easy as guys make it look. I mean, that's why you're professionals. You get up there and you nail it, and it's not as easy about talking through a game and giving kind of visual feedback to the people at home. But I think he's crushing it, and amazing he's going to do a Super Bowl from the other side, and I'm excited to see it.
I think he's doing well. I think he's doing okay as well, and I like the insights and the stories. You can just tell his love for football and the passion that he has for football. And I think people are just haters. They want to bring him down. It's jealousy, right?
Try to find anything, man. You
know what it is.
Yeah, if you can't beat him, hate on him.
Well, speaking of which, people are hating on the Chiefs right now. I guess you know what this is like being the Patriots. You guys were the villains before.
Yeah.
What's it like when you're the villain team? I guess I always wondered about you guys and Belichick and certain teams are able to always stay hungry because they always feel like people are doubting them. So they could be 14-point favorites in a game, but people are doubting us or people are hating us right now. And I heard Mahomes say, If winning Super Bowls means I'm a villain, then I'll be the biggest villain in the world, man.
Yeah, might as well, man. I mean, play to your strengths. It's all about the guys in the locker room. I think, being the villain can be a positive thing. It gives you a sense, like you said, a chip on your shoulder. You want to go out and prove everyone wrong. It's one of the hardest things to do in sports, to three-peat anything. People forget about the Bills when they played in 4 straight Super Bowls and lost them, but just that feat alone with the short off seasons, now you got an extra game, dealing with injuries, dealing with elements. I think they obviously got a good chance. But yeah, it is one of those things you got to enjoy the role you've been given and keep it all in the locker room.
Bro, I'm a Buffalo Bill fan, and yesterday I was sitting next to Emmett Smith, who just beat our ass in the Super Bowl. And now I'm sitting next to a New England Patriot, man. And you guys, how many times did you lose to the Bills in your career? Like once, twice?
Man, well, I remember that one year we traded Lawyer to you guys. And we got beat 31-0. And then came back at the end of the year, beat you 31-0.
See, he remembers. So. he remembers. All right, listen, we just had Kyle Turley on. And Kyle's a big health advocate.
Yeah.
He suffered stage 2 dementia after playing in the league.
Yep.
And I was talking to him about this, and I've always wondered, with all the technology that we have and the different type of services and bulletproof this, bulletproof that, how come we can't come up with safer helmets for the players? But this is something that light helmets that you guys are trying to do right now. What's the difference here, Lonnie? Explain to our viewers, what's the difference between this and a standard helmet that they're wearing right now?
Well, I mean, the old helmets, they haven't changed for 40 or 50 years. They're just these heavy buckets on your neck, and a lot of guys, you have to go through this kind of neck training period to get your body back in shape. And, a heavier product, you're going to whiplash a little bit harder. And then the innards of it, all the kind of components inside, technology's come such a long way, better materials, and the safety standards are just as high. So I think it's a lot of the guys know what they've been wearing for the last 10, 20, 30 years of football. So a new kid on the block, a new brand is always going to take a time to get used to. But out of 32 teams, 28 teams have a player rocking a light helmet. It's huge in college football. My kids are playing youth sports, and they're wearing it. So and
I see Virginia Tech test helmets, and everyone's testing. Virginia Tech said this is their best, highest testing helmet that they've ever tested.
Got the highest rating. So safety's there. The look and feel is there. It's really about having some kind of advocates and advisors and people who've been there, tried it on, and use it to really promote it and talk about it.
So what's the difference in here? I mean, I see these air pockets. It looks like almost looks like a first class airplane here.
Yeah, I mean,
you sit down in here.
For guys like you got a funny shaped head, you can mix and match all the little squares in there. To make it bigger on this side, smaller on that side. So, fortunately, it'll fit right.
So, what is the future of safety in the National Football League? Can the league do anything better? How open are they to new innovations and equipment like this?
Yeah, they're going to have to be. I mean, I'm working on a few products that are kind of in this industry with a film about the comeback from brain injuries and holistic approaches on way to treat them, a saliva test for concussions to be able to recognize it faster, whether you do or don't have a concussion, and then a product that you can wear and really promote health and safety. But it comes down to technique, training, the sport better. Back in the day, we were taught to put our helmet right in your chin, and that's where it's supposed to be. Nowadays, you put your helmet to the side, away from the ball, so you don't get hit with the knee. Tackling is more rugby style. So I think guys are more aware that your head is important. And so, finding these different products and techniques is going to go a long way.
I want to ask you about that because, Australian rules football, AFL football, they're not wearing equipment. They're not quite as big, but they're flying around, they're smoking each other, and they're not wearing helmets.
Yeah.
Coach Ditka said, you want to cut down on concussions, put on leather helmets. He said guys won't lead with their head anymore. I know he was being a little extreme with that. We got 2 minutes, but I'm not, never blame the victim, but I see DBs and players always leading with their head so much. They're bringing it on themselves, bro, when they just lower their head.
And you've been taught that way, and it's a business decision. If you go in shy with a shoulder, you might not make the play.
About popping the shoulder.
Or you might not make the play, and then that's on film, and now you've got a minus on that play. So it's in that split-second decision. Do I lead? Do I go at his midsection? Do I go for his knees? And guys they've been raised that way, so it's a different way of thinking when they're in that high stakes position. But yeah, back to Aussie rules football and rugby. I mean, they get concussions too, but the way they tackle and not lead with the head, they lead with more shoulder and roll when they hit the ground. You can see the benefits of that style of tackling.
All right, so we got about a minute left here. What do you want people to know? Information? What they can find more? And if you're a team or a coach out there, and you want to know more about this.
If you're a parent who has questions about safety of your kids playing football, I know that's a big topic right now. I wouldn't be sitting here today if I didn't have football. It's the greatest team sport there is. We got to teach it better, coach it better, play it better, and products like this are making it safer. Give the parents a little bit more sensibility to make that decision.
One thing I realized being here every year and being around guys like you is how much football actually means to community. It's more than football. Football players and what football gives back.
Yeah.
Football's given so much to you. You give back to the community and the sport of football.
Yeah, you make an impact, man. Use it as a vehicle to do some good, promote products you believe in, promote the game, because all my kids play it, and some of their best friends, their best tips that they'll learn in life come from sports.
We've only got about 15, 20 seconds here. Who's going to win the game on Sunday, in your opinion, my man?
Oh, that's a tough one, because I'm a bit biased and I don't want to see a new dynasty.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles got a chance, but their offensive line kicks butt. Saquon is I think they're going to control the ball. If you can just keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands and guard Kelsey. The guy seems to be the most open Hall of Famer I've ever seen in my career.
It's always easier said than done, though, isn't it? And, they're one of these teams, too. I thought my Bills were going to be able to beat them. I thought San Francisco was going to beat them last year.
It left Kelsey wide
when
open.
you guys were playing, I didn't think you were going to lose. It was more like, I can't believe they lost.
Right.
With the Chiefs waiting, it's like, man, they pulled it out again.
And it's always the team, not getting a first down, throw an interception in a crucial moment, drop the ball on this, and then they capitalize, right? Then it's a 7, 10, 14-point turnaround.
Unbelievable. Adam Vinatieri, does he get enough love? And speaking about Hall of Fame, we're seeing all these Hall of Famers recently.
Specialists never get enough love. So
it took a great guy forever to get in the Hall of Fame.
I know.
But if Vinatieri can't get in under that clutchness, who can, right?
I think first ballot was a stretch. That's a tough thing to do. I think he was more qualified than some of the guys got in. Everyone should be there. There's no discussion on those guys deserve to be in. I think Adam had a little bit more qualifications on the championship run, 1-1 with the Colts. But he's in the conversation, and it'll eventually happen.
So before we get you out of here, Only one, huh? Is it New Orleans? You don't want to get attacked, or the other two?
So I did take it off a few times and put it in my pocket. I was like, I don't know if I should be wearing it here.
You're a big man. You're like, maybe I'll put my hand in my pocket for a minute here.
But we beat the Rams down here. I grew up a Rams fan. My dad took me to had season tickets, took me to all the games. So I gave him that ring when we beat the Rams. So I don't own that one. He owns it, so I got to rent it back if I want it. I own the last two, which was Houston and Jacksonville.
That's unbelievable. What a great story. Hey, Lonie, it was a pleasure to meet you, man.
Thanks, brother.
Great stuff.
Thanks for having me on.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
And anytime you want to talk in the future about health safety, we love to do it. Here's Lonie Paxton with us inside the big game. We're throwing it down live in New Orleans. Let's rock.